What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Beyond the Gym Floor. We have, I think we just call her co-host now. Jess is in the house celebrating 10 years in the industry. And we haven't really done it before, so we're going to unpack her personal career story of how she got to where she is, and being in what ChatGPT told us is in the top 5% of the industry, actually making it to a decade. So pretty cool. The conversation goes everywhere, but we make our way through Jess's career, which is really interesting, inspiring, and paints a picture of how you can get the opportunities that Jess has created for herself in that 10 years. As always, please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment on YouTube, do something just to kind of help this podcast get a little bit more reach and out to more people, because we think it's valuable. We think you'll go away from this episode actioning something that makes your business better, and all we ask in return is one of those things. If you feel like you need help, this is the year that you go and make your first 10K month, repeated 10K months. Head to stcfit.com, go to the Standout PT tab, book yourself a discovery call with me, and I'll run you through our 6-month program of exactly how we take people to those 10K months, build a business that works for you, lose the stress of chasing clients, and have a reliable business that you could run for 10 years. Enjoy the episode, and we'll see you next time.
Arm wrestle's a no for me. I won't arm wrestle anyone.
No. My shoulder hurts already.
Yeah.
I don't need you to make it hurt more.
Yeah. Arm wrestle people in Thailand, and then there was one time when we just hadn't had enough fun, so we went to this nightclub, and then we got it finished, and then we're like, well, what do we want to do now? So then we just sat in my mate's garage and just arm wrestled each other.
Excellent.
Till 6 o'clock in the morning.
Men only want one thing, and it's fucking disgusting.
Yeah. and then woke up that day later, and then I was just like, what was my fucking shoulder hurt? Mm-hmm. And then I was just fucked for a week.
Yeah, and it's just not even going to the gym. When do you do this?
Yeah.
Not.
It's funny,
and it's so much skill and level. Yeah.
If someone beat you who didn't go to the gym though, they're like, I'm stronger than you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you though?
It's hilarious.
Are you though?
Yeah.
I think it's been really
Fuck.
It's been very interesting the way that men approach me, being like, yeah, I know that you train. Or pound for pound, I'm like, I'm stronger than you. And I know that.
Yeah. Do you reckon that holds a lot of weight though?
What's that, pound for pound?
The pound for pound thing?
I still beat you up.
Yeah, because if you walk up to someone, I mean this in the nicest way.
I will never say it to them.
If you're like, I'm stronger than you pound for pound, they're just like, yeah, but I can beat you in a fight.
Yeah.
I've had that thought a few times training. There's a couple of big footy boys that come through the gym.
Yeah.
And it's just I walk out of the gym, I've got a pump, just done my selfies, put it on Instagram for validation. I'm feeling myself a bit.
Yeah, and then complexes.
Some fucking 6'4" ruckman walks past that's built like a brick shit house and probably a tradie, and you're like, and he would still beat the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Hey, what time does he train?
I'm gonna start training against.
Yeah. They're usually coming up the stairs as I'm going down, so maybe 7:30.
Awesome, noted. All right, that one.
All right, so training a body blitz every day next week.
Yeah.
Just accidentally drop your business card, and so you drop something. Oh, it's for you.
Sorry, that's my QR code on the back. Follow my Instagram.
Yeah, the powerlifting adage is there's no weight classes in the jungle.
Yeah.
It's yeah, there absolutely isn't.
No. But that's why I did the thing where I just split squat 40 kilo dumbbells, because that was the direct equivalent of somebody 30 kilos heavier than me, what they were doing. And I'm like, yeah, that's the same weight as you.
Yeah, you have to match the weight.
My dick's bigger.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's what you need to say to them. My dick's bigger than yours.
Yeah.
So lead with that.
That's
That'll
pretty
work.
deflating.
That'll work. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because if you want someone
you won't be able to claim Natty anymore though.
Well, the easiest way to weed out the weak ones is the weak ones will cave.
Nice.
Yeah, you're right.
Because then the strong ones, you're weeding out people.
If
so
they
then it's
can't
if a
handle
male,
that.
because if a man comes back and he's just like, I'm about it.
Yeah.
You're like, all right, you got it.
Yeah, that's the barrier to
then
entry of
show
fucking
me.
attitude.
Oh God, this is bringing up Steph's been watching that. Is it Euphoria?
Yeah.
Have you watched it? So
Of course
anyway,
I have.
Yeah, so I haven't, and she tried to make me, and I was just like, this is stressful.
Yeah, it is though.
No, I'm sitting
It
there,
is.
and I was getting anxiety. It's like, young girls, and they're like figuring themselves out, and they're getting fucked up. They're addicted to drugs. They're just having sex. Like one's like, doesn't know if she's a
But
man
it's
or a
fentanyl.
woman. And I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't do this,
Yeah,
babe.
I'm out.
Yeah, I was like, I can't watch this.
I'm gonna go watch someone with a big gun.
No, so I'm like, so
Bang bang.
so
Death, that's fine.
what
Human
I did
emotion, not having it.
to replace the stressfulness of watching this show, I went and played a really stressful video game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just yelling and screaming at the PlayStation
At
instead.
least you get to yell.
Do
Yeah,
you
and at
know
least I
where
got to
Steph's
do what I want.
at? Do you know where she's at in the series?
So it's when like the best friends,
Yep.
like she ends up like getting with that dude at the party in the
Yep.
toilet.
Yep.
So
Oh.
yeah.
But like, you've got to enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's Sydney Sweeney. We love Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah. The
And
only
we
thing
also
I know
love
of that
Zendaya.
show is that like when that scene came out and everyone lost their mind.
Steph
That's
tried
the
to sell
only-
it to me by like she's like, yeah, there's a lot of sex in it. I'm like,
Sydney
Yeah,
Sweeney has
okay.
sex.
yeah, and
Have
then I
the
kind of
internet.
I started watching. I'm like, this is fucking weird, bro. It's stressful.
It's
as.
it's a
That's
very
how
well
men sold. No, that's how people sold Game of Thrones to people.
Yeah.
Sex and dragons.
Yeah.
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 I
Doesn't
don't-
sound like it has any dragons. So I'm not convinced.
It's stressful, bro.
It was very so it came out when we're in lockdown.
Yeah.
So I watched it in lockdown when I was on maternity leave for 3 weeks before having Parker. And I slammed through it then. And I was like, no, this is actually really well produced. Like, this is actually really
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
But then my favorite person that reminds me, his name's Angus St. Cloud, like his real name.
Okay.
And he's the troubled drug dealer
Yep.
in it.
Yep.
Yeah. He's my favorite. He reminds me of Mac Miller, and obviously
Yeah.
he's dead. And then anyway, he died. Not in the show,
Oh.
like in real life. And I was
Oh,
like,
no way.
all right, that's a curse. I'm not allowed to like anyone that looks like Mac Miller.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I really, really liked Euphoria.
I can see how it's like bingeable.
It's like the Skins version of. Did you guys ever watch Skins?
No.
No, so it's like the Skins version of The Next Generation, where that was like weed and pills, whereas this is like fentanyl.
Yeah.
And I'm
yeah.
like,
I know a couple of more exposures, and I'll be sitting on the couch with some popcorn, just being like, "Oh my
Literally.
god, I can't believe this
Yeah,
bitch!
yeah, yeah.
Like, she acted
I'm
that
in.
way."
I'm in.
Have you seen that meme? It's like the dude, the partner walks past, like, "Oh, I don't watch this shit," and he's like, "Oh, who's that?" And then he's like, "So what's this person doing?" And the next bit he's just like, "Oh my god, like that's gonna be me." I did it with that, like the real estate shows.
oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm like selling sunset shit. I'm
Yeah.
like, "Oh, who are these guys?" Ooh. And then now I'm like, "Oh my god, babe, did you see that house? 30 million, 30 million." I'm like, "Oh, I love the void in the front." Like,
I love that. That's the key to a happy marriage.
yeah. Now, like if they're on them, have you watched this one yet?
Yeah. How dare you?
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it's my guilty pleasure.
What's your top show at the moment?
So I just finished watching a show called Landman. Unreal. So like it's produced by Taylor Sheridan. So he did like Lioness, Yellowstone, Mayor of Kingstown. Like the man doesn't miss. And so it's like a oil rig. Like they're pumping oil in like the outsides of Texas. It shares a border with Mexico. And it's basically like just this guy who's like controls like the operation, and he's like dealing with like the Mexican cartel and drug
Ooh.
dealers, and like just
Mad.
fucking shit happens every day. And his wife's crazy. His daughter's like super hot, and so just like every day is just
Chaos.
something. Yeah, yeah. It's
Landman.
really
That sounds good.
It's really good.
Have you seen Yellowstone?
Yeah, so I just finished the whole seasons and stuff. Yellowstone was great.
I've
The
been
first
told
couple
I
of
need to
seasons
watch
really,
it.
it's really good.
I've heard very good things.
Yeah, like the second last season was a bit mid, but I think they were just trying to work out
How to end it?
how to end it because was it Kevin Costner? Like he's just like, I'm not doing it no more.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, just all of a sudden just got to a point where he's like,
Yeah.
I need I'm pretty sure the production demands for the show. He was just like, I want to do other shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was just like, I'm not doing this anymore.
So you know who I looked up the other day? Jerry Bruckheimer.
Yeah,
He's a billionaire.
that doesn't surprise me. He's made a lot of good movies.
So I was like, all the CSIs and all of that, like that's where I've seen his name because it's the same stamp
Yeah,
at the end of the shows, like the Jerry Bruckheimer thing. And it came
Yeah.
up. I'm
Had
like, I wonder what that guy's worth. And then I opened it and I was like,
Yeah.
Bad Boys,
Some
Pearl
heaps of good
Harbor,
moves, bro.
fucking like
Did you do some of the Transformer movies as well?
Yes.
So he did
Yeah.
the F1
Yeah. No, he's yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? And
Yeah.
net worth over $1 billion.
Yeah.
Wait a sec.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I'm just
Yeah.
because I don't know who
Even like,
people
who do you
are.
reckon would be the like? Do you reckon James Cameron would be like number one?
Pirates of the Caribbean,
Yeah.
Bad Boys, Top Gun, Maverick, National Treasure, all the Pirates of the Caribbean.
He does good action movies. If Jerry Bruckheimer is like in the action movies, I'm like, I know there's going to be explosions, and I know people are gonna die.
Armageddon, Top
and
Gun,
really good, like,
Pearl Harbor, Con Air.
easy
Okay.
watching TV.
Yeah.
Like CSI, all,
Yeah.
like all of those
Oh.
programs.
I
are
got
just,
back
like,
into
easy to just chill.
NCIS.
Yep.
Steph loves
So he's
NCIS
worth-
and she loves CSI. I swear she's going to kill me one day.
James
And she's
Cameron's
just gonna
only
plan
worth
the
800.
perfect.
I
Yeah, right.
have.
I just thought like Titanic and shit, like
Yeah,
you know,
but
Terminator.
just the span of Brockheimer is just
Yeah,
when you look at the list, you're like,
Yeah, that's disgusting.
yeah. So our soft watching TV shows
Yeah.
are CSI and NCIS.
yeah, it's good.
Is it the special?
I can get
Oh,
behind
and
that.
SVU. Steph loves SVU.
Yeah, one
Yeah.
hurts me too much.
Loves SVU.
Amy likes it too. It's rough.
Yeah, I'm like it's a bit much for me.
Yeah.
But you know,
Yeah.
It's like I didn't need to watch this on my lunch break.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just love how
Oh.
like sometimes the acting's really bad.
Yeah.
I just love it.
I love
I-
any show that has to use dialogue to explain the plot to you because you're too stupid to understand what's going on.
Nice.
That fucking kills me.
Yeah.
Kills me.
No, I don't know. NCIS. I've
Yeah.
watched it for like ever.
Which
Ever?
which CSI did you guys like the most?
Grissom and then Miami.
Yeah,
Which
Grissom.
one's Ice-T in?
No, so he's in
SVU.
Yeah. But yeah, CSI was like Grissom until they decided to replace him. Like,
Yeah,
how
that
dare you?
sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then CSI Miami was good just for like the one-liners. The Horatio. Yes.
So the main character just used to take his sunglasses off all
Horatio
the time
Kane.
and say something.
And he'd say like the most obvious thing though, like looks
This
like
person's dead.
looks like somebody killed someone.
Fucking
Oh.
best. That was a good show for that. Like they have the team, like the best investigators in the fucking world, all get in a room and are just like,
Yeah.
now this is what we know so far.
Yeah.
Just like you're an idiot and you haven't been paying attention. So this is what's going on in
Oh
the
my
Nine
show.
times out of 10, it's semen.
Nice.
Someone's put semen
Get the blue
somewhere,
light.
and it's
Nice.
like, fuck,
Get the
there's
blue
semen
light.
here. All right, now we know who it is. Like,
Yeah.
that's
Oh my
it.
god. No, I've just got an unhealthy crush on Jethro Gibbs
Mm.
and NCIS. Should be Denozo, but it's absolutely not. Jethro's
Good
brain.
old Denozo.
Denozo, fuck.
Good old
What's the Ducky?
Ducky, Denozo,
He's a
Ziva.
rapper. Do you know he had a #1 rap single?
I did know that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I
know
did.
that.
wild.
I did know that.
yeah. That's some wild banter.
Yeah, considering
from-
I had none.
Went from Euphoria to SVU.
McGee.
Yeah, McGee, that's the other
Yeah.
dude. Yeah. He's the
McGee.
lovable, spongy one, and then Denozo's
Yeah.
the American
And
hero.
Abby, goth gal.
Yeah.
Huh. Anyway.
Wasn't watching that show when I was 16, very deep in my emo phase at all.
Yeah.
Very happy whenever Abby came on the screen.
That's my brother.
Yep.
That's my brother.
Yep.
Goodness
Alright.
me.
You ready to be interviewed for the first time? You're not
You know what? Hell yeah.
You're not a co-host today. Congratulations on 10 years.
All right,
Thank
Let's
you.
do it.
Cheers.
welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, she's an old lady
Hey.
now.
Couple fucking big dogs at this table. Just letting everyone know.
Yeah, dinosaurs.
Yeah, double-digit gang.
It actually it adds a whole other layer, doesn't it? Like so many it felt like my birthday on that anniversary post today. So many people messaging me about like, oh my god, 10 years is huge. I was like, you know what?
It is.
It kind of is, isn't it?
Yeah, well,
I
it's
think-
like in another industry, like that would be heaps. But I feel like
Where's my
in
long
fitness,
service leave?
well, I feel like in fitness it means even more, or like
Yeah,
even just in like
100%.
small business, like, but it's the same. Like it's not like you started multiple small businesses. Like I think it means it has so much more weight because you get your long service at like 7.5 years.
Yeah.
And if you work for the same company, or like Steph gets it in education
That's
in
what your
general.
long service leave is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you get 3 months.
5 years away.
You get 3 months, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, you ain't getting that.
No.
3 months.
I'll ask the owners of U Strong to pay me out long service leave.
It's alright. It starts from like last September, so that's okay. 7 years from now,
We can
we'll
deal
work
with it
it. Yeah, I'll work that out. I'll cross that
Yeah.
bridge when I come to it. But yeah, I think it means a lot in fitness to be in.
So you're
for 10 years.
15?
I started when I was 20. So I'm
So
36.
did I.
Yeah.
Of course you did. Yeah, I started when I was 20. I turned 21. So I'm 30.
Yeah. So I turned 21
36.
in fitness, but I was in sales.
Yeah.
It doesn't count.
So
You're not a
yeah.
PT.
But next year I'm going to say I've been in the industry for 15 years, just because I can. But I've been a trainer for 13.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you've been a trainer for 16 years? 17.
Well, I started when I was 21.
Going on 16 this year.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a long time.
Yeah, but you worked at reception too, so you can almost say 20 years.
Yeah, I could do that. Yeah. I think I started at reception when I was 19.
So an extra 2.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
18 years.
Yeah, because I did a year at the casino,
Mm.
and then that was too much trauma, and then
Yeah.
I did 2 years at the gym.
Yeah.
And then,
You're a
and then
business
went
coach though, like you've got to like.
I go Jack. Oh, well, I feel
You've
like
been
I
training
don't.
since you were 16, so you've really been doing it for like 20 years.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, like, do you feel like there's enough? Do you feel like there's a number where any more than that doesn't matter though?
That people don't care.
It's
Or
like
they're
if you're
just like,
doing
you're actually too old now. Yeah.
Look, but like if let's say it's like you had 15 years experience, and then you've got 17. Like, does it matter?
No, 15 sounds the same as 17.
Yeah. Or even like 10.
Yeah.
Does 15 sound more than
Yes.
like
10, 15, 20.
Mm.
I feel
Yeah.
like
Those
after,
landmarks?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
I wonder.
so-
I would be really curious to speak to like a first, second year PT, and see what their
I
gut
reckon
instinct response to a 20-year, whether it's actually positive, or whether you go, okay,
so when I'm
like you're a has-been.
41, I'll be 20 years in.
Depends on what the person
That's insane.
Depends on what the person looks like, I reckon. I reckon if you look like a wash, it's like the dad that said he could bench 100 kilos in high school.
Back in my
You're like,
day.
I don't give a fuck.
You
Yeah,
look
yeah.
like a soggy wet biscuit.
Correct.
Just haggard.
I ate Wheat Bix that looked in better shape than you this morning.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, 10 big ones.
Yeah.
Do you reckon you'll still be here in 10 more?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
When
so.
I wrote the post, I was like, I'm not gonna write. I wrote. Here's to as many more as you want.
Yeah, I was like, oh, he's firing me.
No,
Writing's, writing's on the wall, Jess.
Because the big thing in fitness is most people don't get to choose when they leave.
Yeah.
Most people leave because they have to, because they're failing. So if you can choose if
Yeah.
and when you leave the fitness industry, like, and all the people that say that they did choose, it was because you weren't making enough money.
Yeah, well,
Correct.
you chose to leave because you had to. And I don't mean it's not a joke.
Yeah.
It's not a joke. It's a serious matter.
Yeah,
You know.
but it annoys me when the people are like,
Yeah, it's like
the fitness, there's no money in fitness. Like, well, there is.
Yeah, or it's like I've decided that I'm moving on. It's like didn't work out.
Didn't.
So
I've decided I'm a
decision.
business coach because I don't want to do coaching anymore.
Yeah, there's more money over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I in the post was deliberately like, stay as long as you want to.
Yeah.
That's all you can kind of
So
wish for people.
to a
This
degree.
is-
Like we need you to hang around for a little bit longer.
We'll just make sure she still wants to.
That's
Yeah.
that's the
You
key.
don't have it. We'll just gaslight you.
And there's nothing like a little healthy gaslighting between
Yeah,
coach
every week.
workers.
It's just like, one more year. Yeah.
10
I've
years,
heard-
still in
guys,
it?
Me?
Yeah.
I think so.
in some capacity.
Full time?
I don't know. I feel like I'm a small percentage of people who really, really, really like what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like even like I think if someone threw another chapter at me that could even potentially be more fruitful, I still think that I would push back on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could-
Yeah, because I just my pushback on it all, and it even makes me nervous now thinking about it, is like, because I've given so much to it, I don't know if I can walk away.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been thinking about like that time sunk fallacy a lot lately. Like,
Yeah.
like asking the question, why? Like, why am I still doing it?
Mm.
Like, is this...
Yeah.
Is it all the upsides and the positives and the values and the impact and the reward and all of that, or is it like something else?
Yeah, and then I also have. See, it's funny. I have the conversation with myself the same, but the opposite. I'm like, why do I have to feel like I have a pressure to move on to something else?
Yeah.
Mm.
I think that's...
And I feel like that's what a lot of people have. Like you spoke about it yesterday in Standout. It's like you don't have to go to online coaching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's no pressure to, like, you haven't made it. Like some of the best coaches that we know are face-to-face coaches.
Yeah. And the times are fucking same.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah,
it is.
you're just choosing a different heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, with marketing and sales and systems and scaling, right?
Yeah.
It's just totally different, like where you're working.
Yeah.
So yeah, sometimes I sit there with myself and I'm like, why is there this pressure for me to like kind of move on to another chapter that's not related to fitness?
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm getting to that point now where it's like, well, what do you do?
People are, or you are asking that question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, oh, so does that mean, because even like I turned 37, so I'm like, I'm starting to think about, am I doing this when I'm 50?
Yeah.
Or no, not even that. It's like, what does it look like when I'm 50?
Yeah.
Correct.
Not like, am I, so then I'm starting
How do I do this then?
correct, yeah. And then with that conversation comes that pressure of like, should you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Yep.
I'm like, there's a way. And it's like, I'm probably just giving back and you know, managing a team and having businesses and making sure that they're doing the thing. I feel like that's maybe where the future lies. I don't know if it'll be like me heavily coaching, but I still really love like helping people.
Yeah.
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 What about you?
I think where I see myself going is helping people at a different scale.
Yeah.
So absolutely love one-on-one coaching, but the reason we expanded the team was to get the 1 million outcomes, which is why we have the gym. It's why we have the Anytime, the Trainer Academy that we call it now. All of those types of things come from that, and that's why we got into trainer education and why I take on the mentoring. And so it's like a couple of these like 25 planning calls that we did this week. There's a couple of them that I finished up on, and I was like, fuck, I'm really good at this. Like, I can pull that apart and give that back to you. And I'm like, that's a skill set that impacts a lot of people.
Yeah.
Down the chain, probably is more fruitful long term as well. So I know that there's a pathway, but I don't think I'll ever not be in fitness.
Yeah.
It just won't be the only thing I'm in.
Yeah, I like the idea of that.
Yeah.
Because we've talked about goals and ambitions to like, you know, just have businesses and like a portfolio and stuff like outside of business, fitness. But I think that like I will operate in fitness.
Yeah.
And I'll just have things that are outside. Like I'll own things outside of fitness as well.
Yeah. I had a really interesting woo-woo moment during the week.
Yeah.
So I've like been developing this program for ages, like probably mid-year.
Yeah.
Of like performance coaching for business owners. A little bit of business coaching, a little bit of mindset-y stuff, and then also folding in, get yourself in shape, look good.
Yeah.
All the stuff we preach, like the aim up mentality, through business and training.
Yeah.
My client book has probably not been over 5% male for 10 years.
Yeah.
Maybe more since I started. And almost all of them since I've been online have been referrals or brothers or whatever. Signed my first, someone walked up to me in the gym. Yeah. I want to coach with you. Did the consult, sat down, business owner, 8 apprentices, got overwhelmed, alcohol, got out of shape, stopped going to the gym. And I was like, do you have help in your business? He's like, it's just me. And I was like, you're it. Back injury, tradie. I'm like,
heck yes.
You're the fucking like.
You are it.
Good
you're
at the job.
Niche.
Good at the job, but needs help with everything else.
Yeah. Wants to look good. Wants to get the vitality, the health, all of that back. Yeah. Also wants to sort out the business. Is also aiming up in life. I'm like, fuck. This just like slapped me in the face that this is.
That's who you're talking to.
My cleaner's like that.
Yeah.
I was talking to him the other day.
Yeah.
I was just like, so many ways you can help that person.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just like, oh, so what's your training look like and all this shit? And I'm like, what's your business look like?
Yeah.
Like, we were just like feeling each other out. Like, where else do you need help?
Yeah.
So there's heaps of them out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where you see yourself.
That's my next side hustle until it's not a side hustle anymore. Until it shows itself to not be.
Nice.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. But like, there's no, I've put on the client and a half a week for the last month, and that's not stopping. Yeah. Like, I have no interest in moving out of fitness and coaching right now.
Yeah.
But I want to do this as well and investigate it.
Yeah, I think we sent out the testimonials to everyone, and I think that was a nice reminder to me about like my love for my job.
Yeah.
Because like, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I feel like I am not giving enough and doing enough, but it's only because like I've done it for so long that like what I give and offer is, of a high standard, but I don't know
it's normal to you.
Yeah. So I even said to my wife the other day, I'm like, I just don't feel like I could give more.
Yeah.
And then the feedback comes in, it's like, no stone left unturned, so detailed, so supportive, like, no bullshit, but like, and just like so happy with everything. And I'm like, meticulous, attention to detail, like, and I'm like, oh, okay, so it is fine. Mm-hmm. And I think that was a really good reminder as well that like, you sometimes you can fall into the trap of just like it's monotonous and you think that you need to change things because you're missing something. Yeah. But it's like, what if if everyone's happy with what you're getting, it's like, broke. Why are you trying to reinvent the wheel?
Yeah.
And which I think is normal. Like we even see other people, like even just in our mentoring program and stuff, they're like, oh, this is boring. It's like, is it effective though? Yeah. So then you got to try and like curb that and just get something else somewhere.
Yeah.
I think that's why we just take on all these projects.
Yeah.
It's like this next. But yeah, the feedback was great.
The testimonial was absolutely cute.
For everyone.
I haven't read mine yet.
Jason, literally, this one's going to make you cry.
Yeah. She's like, I messed up and made them on my jot form.
Right.
So the emails come to me, which is, I screwed up. So then I've just been forwarding them to the coach.
Yep.
And she's like, oh, I nearly cried when I read this one. And then I read, I think, Kirsty's. And I'm like, this one's going to make you cry.
Yeah, good luck.
Because I read it. And I was like, whoa, this is fucking cool, man.
Yeah.
I think
they're great.
The coolest part, so I get like a lot of my clients externally, and like we've spoken so much about my image externally versus what you get when you're in there. And so many people are like, oh my God, hype girl. I'm like, yeah, but that's like not the only thing I do. I'm just like the most supportive person in your life. And all of like everyone will always talk about like my hype, my support for them, blah, blah, blah. But then reading through all of them, every single one of them mentioning that I call them on their shit and hold them to a higher standard. I'm like, that was comforting for me to read because I'm like, am I just a woo girl?
Yeah, you're the.
Yeah.
No, you're not. You're not.
But
no one wants to be that person.
That's my biggest.
No one wants to be the high five coach.
Literally, that's my biggest fear because I'm like, absolutely, I'm supportive. Like, absolutely. And I will be your loudest cheerleader and all of that stuff. But the fact that, when all the testimonials came back, one of the positives was like, she calls me on my shit. This feels collaborative, which was another cool one that I loved.
Absolutely.
And then it was just like, doesn't let me get away with anything. And I'm like, forces you to a higher standard. I'm like, that? I was so proud reading those back.
As a client, and then looking at the people I've worked with, you always remember the ones that like eyeball you and say you're better than this. You're capable of more than this.
Yeah.
They're the ones that you're like, that'll stick with you forever.
Yeah.
And you often talk about like leaving people better than before they met you or that even that specific engagement or whatever. And if you can do that as a coach, it's like that's box ticks.
Yeah.
For me, like if you stay for 12 weeks and you get that, awesome. If you stay for 12 months and get that, great. But it's like if you can have an engagement with me that you walk away like, fuck, he saw something in me that I don't see in myself, and you take action off the back of that.
And it comes with like your competency in your job, like what you said about looking at someone's business and being able to unpack it, turn it around, and explain it back to them in a way that they can understand. Like. I'm a woman that uses a lot more words than I need to in conversations. But then when it comes to coaching, it's like, cool, I'm going to make this as concise as I possibly can to make this as actionable and clear and as detailed but simplified as I possibly can so you can get the best out of the next.
That's the best objective.
7 days until I do the next check-in. Obviously, we will chat in between them. But I think like that was the hardest thing for me as a coach. Like, but online coaching helped with that a lot. Simplifying.
It'll be so good with your communication, hey?
Correct.
Like when you coach online.
And which helped me become more straight to the point.
Yeah.
I think I overshot for a little while there where I was a little bit too scary, dare I say, compared to like my normal happy-go-lucky, chirpy attitude all the time. It's like, no, I'm here to get an outcome. So I think I like overcorrected where I oversimplified and was too straight to the point. And then I had to like peel it backwards and be like, I think I've like nailed the ultimate like compliment sandwich of like and making it concise, and that was validating.
Been working on this a bit the last couple of months in particular, like just leadership in general. and obviously that plays into the coaching, and the ability to just like let someone be uncomfortable
Yeah.
and be comfortable. So the litmus test for me is like send that check-in that's like, hey, blah, 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 blah. Like rein it in, pull it in. You can do this. Like this is like the standard isn't being met and you need to communicate that.
Yeah.
And being able to hit send and then forget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you can do that, I was the one that like, fuck, I don't know how that's going to be taken. I really like need that response.
Yeah. Or you just tiptoe around it
Or
just
not do
avoid it. Yeah.
Yeah, so to be able to, like you said, if you felt like you were too direct, you walk away like anxious and feel good how I delivered that. But then if you float it, you're like, fuck, they're not getting anywhere. You're
like
frustrated,
another
they're
week
frustrated.
goes by and then you're like, this fucking person again.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
before you click the button, you're like,
Yeah.
you know this is going to be.
Yeah. So to be
Yeah.
able to deliver it and then close the computer and be done. And then like you get the reply and you're like, oh yeah, like I kind of threw it down a little bit there.
Yeah.
And it is positive.
There's only
awesome.
one instance where it wasn't, and like they did end up having trouble with this person. Like after she did leave, yeah, she just said, "Hey, by the way, can you just give me a heads up if you say something that's not positive in a check-in?" And I was like, "No, I can't."
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
How do you do that? Hey, this isn't positive, just letting you know.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
already leading with a negative. So it's
So then you got to like
Valid.
let them
And-
know that you're going to let them know.
and she said that I would
Yeah.
like to be in a good mindset when I open something that is not. She's like, I look forward to the compliments all the time. So when it's more feedback,
Oh, okay.
and she's like, when it's more feedback, I need to be in a better mindset. And I was like, I'm sorry, it's my
Yeah.
job to be a health coach, and this is what I prioritize, and your health is my priority.
Yeah.
And
But
like,
sometimes
that-
that's what people get.
you don't need to put your personal trainer there.
They hire a
Yeah.
a
A
hype
cheerleader, which is
person.
fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it, it didn't end up working out between her and I, and that's okay. In the end,
you got to set
It's
the
not my
record
person.
straight though.
Yeah,
like,
correct.
and it's like
I'm not going to lie
here
to
help
some.
you.
Yeah, I'm going to make you feel better by helping you become the person, by supporting you to become the person that I know you can be
Yeah.
through health and fitness.
Which means the person that you're being right now is not everything you could be. So now I have to point that out to you, which is rough.
Yeah. And if you look at the most successful clients you have, they all are the ones that say like, "You call me out,
Thank you.
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
appreciate it."
They say literally,
Yeah. And there's a
fuck
way of
you,
calling.
thank you.
There's a way of calling people out. Let's make that very
Yeah,
clear.
yeah.
Like, I'm not saying like even when people like no, he's no bullshit. He's this. It doesn't mean like
You mean
it's aggressive and mean. It's
Yeah.
just
Correct.
like I'm just like this isn't meeting your expectations that you set for yourself.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's interesting how that impacts the way people interact with you. So like I sent you my photos yesterday because I was like, I know Jason will tell me if I've gotten fat. But he won't be like,
you're fat.
you're a like, what the fuck did you do over Christmas?
Yeah. Like fuck, bro, you really let it go, man.
It's like, all right, I think I'm ready to go into a surplus. I'm a little bit some days because I'm fucking hobby builder. Like,
Yeah.
are you? Fuck it. If I send it to Jace, he's gonna be honest.
Yeah.
And if you're a client that can be like, I'll just send it to my coach and they'll be honest. Like, that's exactly what you need.
Yeah, yeah, and even like I think just when you feel the feedback and like especially the negative stuff, like if you feel like it was taken, like if it hurts, but it's like it hurts from an emotion perspective, like maybe the delivery was just a little bit wrong. Where like if you take that feedback and you're motivated to change, like that's a sign that like the message was strong and like you needed it.
Or you could just be frustrated for the 50-minute drive home and then get over it.
Yeah, so it's
No, it's fine.
I mean, I know it's not that black and white. Like
No,
there is like
yeah.
there's something, there's development from the person to be able to take the feedback, but
Correct.
the delivery is so important.
Yeah, there should be
Yeah,
a
I think-
reaction because you should care enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's on us as coaches to make sure we choose our words very carefully.
Yeah.
Because that's make or break. It's like either frustrated and they'll rebel, or they'll get motivated
Yeah.
and they'll do more.
Yeah.
Do better.
Find another gear.
We get to decide that. Like
Yeah.
sometimes, like I feel like we just like cut the cord and be like, "Well, that's on you now because I told you." It's like your job is to choose words carefully
Correct.
to make sure that they respond in a way that's
Yeah.
possible. And like, not everyone's gonna like. It's our job to increase the likelihood. Let's say it like that, because
Yeah.
we can't at the end of the day really dictate how you take the feedback, but you can choose your words.
Yeah.
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 All right.
Agreed.
Back to the
Moving on.
That was awesome and nothing what I had planned at all.
Movie. That was.
When has a podcast ever
bad.
gone to plan
So,
when I'm on it?
so that's Ben's moving on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
I want to know about your first year as a PT.
Amazing.
So, good life?
Yep. So first year as a PT, when I was doing my Cert 3 and 4, the Good Life rep, the PT manager came into the gym, said, if you guys want to do, your placement at our gym, come do your placement at our gym. Did that. They obviously offered me the contract then and there. But as I was doing my work placement hours, so I feel like my story is like kind of unique because I was mentored from day dot.
Mm-hmm.
I opened myself up to being mentored from day dot, I should say. As I was doing my work placement hours at Good Life, which was Good Life Preston, at Northland. Oh my God. I was doing work placement hours and I got approached by one of the coaches there. She was a female strength coach and she was like, you've got it. Whatever it is,
I want it.
You've got it. And she was like, cool. So she then got me to PT with her.
Yep.
And do some of her small group strength training.
Oh, so you worked with her? Or
yeah,
or
I was
trained
still doing placement. And I was going to her thinking, like, I might reach out to you for coaching because, like, I fuck with this. So she threw me in some classes to train with her as well as train beside her.
Yeah.
And then sat me down at the end of my placement and said, would you come under my business?
Smart.
And naturally, I was like, I want what you're doing. As she taught me sales, she did all of that. I just got, she paid my rent and then got paid like
You trained the sessions and got paid.
Yeah, correct. I got paid from her. So I was mentored by her immediately. She taught me about sales over the phone, pick up the fucking phone, do all of that stuff, and I was very, very grateful for that. But my first year looked like Monday morning to Friday night. I eventually dropped my Friday nights. They were the first thing. And then half a Saturday morning, so 5.5 days of PT. Morning till night, mini break in the middle of the day to train and sleep.
Yeah.
Split shifts Monday to Friday.
How many sessions were you doing?
Oh, goodness. When they were 60-minute sessions, I was doing no less than 30. But then I dropped back to 45-minute sessions and I was doing like 40 hours on the gym floor.
Yeah.
Like 40 hours of coaching.
Yeah.
And then we had to like reassess. Then we moved to a small group training model. Mm-hmm. So a lot of my stuff got moved around. I grouped my girls into small group training and made some hours for myself and set some better boundaries.
What do you think is the cap hours face-to-face to sustain quality? I had this conversation with one of our
30, 36
hours.
Yeah.
Of face-to-face coaching.
Yeah, I could do a 4-hour block morning and night, 4 days, 32, and even a half day.
Yeah.
Take Friday off, do a half day on Saturday.
Yeah.
I could do 34 hours.
I set it at about 25, 45-minute sessions, 30-minute sessions. Because like I know if I did 45 halves, mentally I was pretty.
I think it's the amount of conversations you have. I don't think it's how long you train people.
See,
yeah, and I reckon the hour sessions are probably less taxing.
I think now I would have to do the hours just because of who the people I train and how I train them.
Yeah.
But
taking on the load and stuff.
But yeah,
if you've got one person, 2 people in an hour versus one person in an hour is one load.
It's less energy. The 2 people are taking energy from you because they've got problems, they've got needs, they've got whatever.
Yeah.
I loved that side of it though. Like I can handle. Yeah, like I was made for that.
Two
shit.
very different
Do you ever
personalities.
drive home with the music off? Do you ever do that?
This year I had a couple of those days.
Yeah, because that was like every night for me. After PT, I'd be like, I don't want to hear a sound.
Yeah.
No, so I obviously like. I don't know. I'm obviously high energy by nature. I loved the face-to-face and I loved the small group training. Obviously, got a small group training gym now. Like, still love that shit. But yeah, that was my first year. So I actually started. So I used to work at Boost Juice. Mm-hmm. And I said that I was going to use my 12 weeks of ramping up rent as my getting into it and slowly decreasing my hours. And I was full-time after the first month. By 6 weeks, I was like fully into training. Like
let's fucking go.
Yeah, it was like I didn't expect it. But it happened, and at 4 weeks, I had to speak to my boss, and I was like, "Dude, I'm so sorry." And he was like, "No, I'm happy for you. Like, this is your forever." Like,
oh no, you were too successful.
We'll find someone else to make the shakes.
Yeah.
yeah. He was like, "Go."
Mine a Boost Juice right now.
Yeah,
I haven't had one for years.
There's one at Sunbury Square, and I was like, "Hello." But yeah, that was my first 6 weeks, and then I was like fucking full time before 12 weeks.
Nice.
By like the 6 to 8 month mark, it was changing sessions to better splits. And then at the end of my first year is when I moved out of Good Life.
Yeah.
So I worked my first year at Good Life, and then,
yeah. So I want to talk about that too.
yeah, I was like, I'll stop there so you can ask another question.
The key to success in your first year.
Mm-hmm.
You've mentored people through their first year now. You've done it yourself. What do you think it is?
The key to it, like one simple.
Yeah. If there's one trait, one tip, one thing that you would say someone starting their PT career tomorrow, what do they need?
You need to talk to as many people as you can possibly talk to. I don't know. Like, that's from the business side. It's like whether it's on the gym floor or on the phones, you need to get yourself in front of as many people as you possibly can. All different. Like, I have always coached women. There have been men along the way that are like partners or like whatever. Get yourself in front of as many people as you possibly can. Get as much experience as you possibly can.
Yeah. What do you think?
I would go down the route of conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what's they happen on the
what's
phone
the mindset that someone that does that has?
The mindset?
Yeah, because like if you're doing 30 hours face-to-face, 40 hours face-to-face, like that's like I'm willing to kill myself for this year.
Yeah.
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
energy.
Yeah.
Oh, there was no way that it was not going to work out for me.
Yeah.
There was absolutely no. And
you got to have high work ethic. You can't. It's
Yeah.
not going to work out for you if you're expecting other people to make it work for you. It's like those things don't exist.
Yeah.
You've got to make it work for yourself, and you've got to put everything in. What you put in is what you get out.
Yeah.
It's very straightforward.
So take absolute responsibility.
Yeah. The moment that I was like, if I want to earn more money, I just have to talk to more people and do a little bit more work, and I can earn as much as I want to. And then I was like, cool. And then I did that for a while, and I didn't wash my own hair for like 6 months. I was like going to the hairdresser for everything, and I was like, did all of that. And then I was like, cool, you need to be a little bit smart as everyone, as PT.
Yeah, enjoy yourself, and until you like, hang on a minute.
And then-
I'm an adult.
I can't live like this forever.
Yeah.
Literally. And then I was like, cool, you need to like figure out, like, do you want to work this much? Because like, what are you doing with your money anyway?
Were you a high performer because I know you worked at Macca's as well, in all of your jobs, were you like the manager's favorite because you were a high performer?
I was the manager in all of my jobs.
Yeah. You as well? I know you hated hospitality.
I always got put in the places that were the fucking hardest, which is why I hated it, because I was reliable.
Yeah.
Because I just did the work.
Because I remember like, so my story is I applied for what I thought was Jason's job at reception, which turned out to be a full-time sales gig with like proper KPIs, micromanaging.
You got bamboozled.
I applied for that same job, and I said, no, I don't want that job. I want that job. And they're like, oh, no, just speak to this lady.
Yeah. I was the dickhead and just did it. Yeah. But it was the first, so every job I'd ever worked was like when I worked at Coles, I picked my shifts, I picked my times because I was like the guy.
Yeah.
Went to Super Cheap. I was third in charge within 4 months at 18. Yeah. Got asked to stay to become assistant manager at 18, turning 19. Like always had that. Then worked at the pub, same kind of idea. You pick your hours or you run functions now, all within 6 months.
Yeah.
And then I went to the sales job, a room full of 4 to 6 people that changed every 2 months because no one could handle it. And it was like, oh, I make more money than you if I do more than you.
Yeah.
And it was the first time I tasted that. So when I went into PT, same idea as you. It's like, so I can just do what I want to do when I want to do and make as much as I want to make completely on my responsibility. Sign me the fuck up.
Yeah. I think it was it was the first time. So I've not, I think prior to having Parker, I didn't have very good boundaries when it came to work and my own time. So when you're like, I picked my own hours, I was not that person. I was we can ask Jess and rely on Jess because Jess will do the thing.
Yeah.
But you earned that.
Picking my own hours was all of them. When I was started
Except for in the morning because you crashed your car on the way to the gym.
Yeah, 5:30 is not great for me.
Well, hey, I had to learn I was like going through a massive push phase when I first moved to Glen Waverley. Saving for the wedding and like just doing shit like that. Like, when I really started, I think I really switched on about my future when I was like 25.
Yeah.
24, 20. I think I was
same.
24, 25 and I was like, shit.
Can't do this forever.
That's when STC was born.
There you go. And for me, I was driving. I had said yes to a shift. I was working in a small gym, running my business out of that gym, running a few classes for them. I was the head of S&C, like strength and conditioning programming for the gym, taking a step back from coaching there. And I was driving. I had agreed to another shift, like evening to morning, and the gym was 50 minutes away from me. And I had my first ever car accident. I had never had a car accident before, and it was my fault. Had my first ever car accident. And just before that, I was on the phone to Bryce, and I was like, I am so fucking tired. I should not have said yes to this. And I crashed my car on the way. And then that was like, I quit that job and I went like online coaching and took a couple shifts at Pick It Up to make friends in the southeast. I was like, I need to move out of the northern suburbs. Did a couple shifts in the southeast to make some friends, and I was like, I need to do this on my terms properly. And it took that fatigue, the car accident, the stop being greedy with I can just do more to earn more, and be smarter about how to do more and earn more.
I think the trap is when you're 20 and starting, you don't have the responsibilities, the pressure, the whatever, so you can. And too many people are saying they hear that and they're like, oh, I don't want to go too hard because I might burn out. It's like, bruh, send it until
I think
you're like, I'm kind of fucked.
Yeah, well, you don't know how much you can handle until you push your limits, right?
Yeah, you got to find what it is.
I think for some that's going to work really well.
Yeah.
You don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to push that message like, don't work hard.
Yeah, but you do need to at some point make that transition. It's part of the evolution, but it's part of the evolution.
But you know when you get there. No one can tell you. So we shouldn't be able to. We shouldn't sit here and be like, if you do this, it's going to happen. Like you'll know. Yeah. Just know when it happens. You can't. Like, don't repeat the behavior.
Correct.
Like have the self-awareness to be like, something's got to give now. Yeah.
I think it's important to note, me transitioning from Boost Juice to that job full time, I was paying rent by myself at that age. So it's not like I didn't, at 20, I wasn't living with family. Yeah. It was like, if this doesn't work, I'm screwed.
I don't eat. Yeah. Which is, I think I would love for every personal trainer to start to be like that. Like, I had a mattress on the floor.
Oh yeah.
It's like, there's no choice for me. Yeah. So I want to go a few steps back from crashing your car. So you did your first year at Good Life, and then your mentor opened their own facility.
Yep.
We've talked about like skill accumulation and experience accumulation over your career to put you in the position you're in now, which is, I always find wild. Like I went and looked at a gym last week before, and it was all up in the air of like whether I should go or not. And my wife's like, are you going to go? Like, what are you doing? And I'm like, it's really dumb of me to get in the car right now and drive 110 minutes on the whim that this guy might not show up.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if this is a good deal. I said, but a lot of shit that other people wouldn't do have turned out really fucking good for me in my career. So I got in the car.
Absolutely.
So transition from Good Life with the mentor to open a gym. What was that experience like being underneath someone but part of the build, watching it all play out?
Absolutely. Okay, so she needed me to open this facility. She fast-tracked her plan, so she fell pregnant.
Right.
So she fell pregnant. Her and I were bumping heads with Good Life a lot. They were not happy that we were taking up as much space on the gym floor, and other trainers were complaining about a lot of things, and we were met with a lot of resistance. So she had said, like, this is my plan. I went with her to look at facilities, so I was quite involved in everything. She would take me to mentoring sessions with her business coach. So I'm very grateful she involved me in a lot of that process so my eyes could be open to it, because I was still so young and naive. So was she, though. And she looks back and admits that now. But she fell pregnant. She was heavily pregnant. And she looked at me in the eye. It was like October. She was like, I'm giving my 1 month's notice in November. Come with me. I was like, cool. My end date was in December or something. We ended up pushing that out like a teeny tiny bit. And we did the build. I took all of the sessions for her company to keep the money coming through for 1 month.
Yep.
So I did everything, all the small group training, all of the PTs, everyone that she had coached. Like I did everything. So she left Good Life before I did.
Right.
So she could get that moving.
Yeah.
With no experience opening a gym. And I was doing that and helping with the build in between.
Yeah.
So
you were coaching everyone at Good Life while she built the gym. Yeah, cool.
And that was my help to her. And then the physical stuff, obviously. Like the fit out, she didn't do all by herself. But it was her heavily pregnant, her husband who had a full-time job in like accounting, myself, and whoever she could afford. We had no money. We had nothing. We had no fucking money. That was like a very hard time for her, and I still didn't know how hard it was for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was very eye-opening, and we put the timetable together, so we put the packages together. I had to obviously coach everything. We didn't have any other... No, that's a lie. We had one part-time coach that came on who was also shadowing me in that last 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So it was like I was now helping mentor... I was helping mentor someone whilst coaching everything, whilst getting an insight as to what the future was going to be like, stepping into gym manager role. So that was all a lot, but I felt very involved. And it was...
What's your view on it now that you've opened a gym, looking back at that?
I think that she's incredible, to be honest with you. Like, I look at what she did jumping into it just because Good Life, she was like, I can't fucking do this anymore. Like, I need to take this next uncomfortable step and it's going to be cooked. So I look back and I have a lot of respect and a lot of, like, for her doing that pregnant as well. I was like, bitch. I think that I did a lot more than I was paid for.
Yeah.
But that's never really been an issue for me because I think that in the end, I take a lesson from everything anyway.
Yeah.
But I did a lot above my pay grade, so to say. Never complained about it. Never did it.
I think that's another thing. If you want to be successful, you have to be able to do that.
Yeah.
You got to be able to think.
If I didn't do those things for $27 an hour, I wouldn't have the knowledge that I have at U-Strong for us to be able to pick it up where it is and already behave like a facility that's existed for years.
Yeah. How many people are like, well, I'm not doing anything unless I get paid for this. I'm not like, my time's not worth that. Like, I think at the start, especially, like that's a really risky mindset to have.
What's a 4-year degree cost these days?
I don't know.
40 grand?
Yeah, I'd say more
It
than
It was
that.
like $6,000 a year when I was doing it.
It was $6,000 a semester for Crim Justice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my ex was like 30 and it was like 4 years.
So it's probably double that now.
Yeah.
So to do a 4-year degree costs $60,000, let's say. Probably more now. Be willing to do 60 grand's worth of free work in your first 4 years. Think of it the same way. Like if you look at it and be like, oh, it's free sessions or it's mentoring or it's shadowing or it's unpaid work or I don't get paid for this or whatever.
It's not
Like
worth it.
think about the education that you're getting from doing it.
Yeah.
Spread that over 3 to 4 years, equate that to a degree. Like, what would you rather do? All the hours that you spent at university versus those hours placed in exactly where you need to be to learn the skills that you need.
Yeah.
Like,
Probably 50-50
yeah.
now.
So if you've just come out, you're a Cert 4, you haven't been in university, go get the degree, which is doing the thing on the floor for free, accumulating that knowledge and education. And that's how you end up a 10-year veteran, not was it 8 out of 10 don't last 2 years.
Well, it was like never, because I had just left uni when I did my Cert 3 and 4. So I was still very much in my learn. And then jumping into this, like my bonuses, my like monetary bonuses were like, I did the Wolfpack course with Mark Tobre.
Yeah.
Yep.
I did like private mentoring with, do you know John DeMartini?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. It's like some good shit. They had some really good guest speakers and stuff.
They're my first couple years.
Yeah.
Like I did the physical learning to train. I did the course that shall not be named.
Yeah.
I did that course. The powerlifting, the strength, all of that. under them. Like, I did so many and I learned so much, and like all of the monetary bonuses that I could have gotten were reinvested into like my
Growth and
education.
development.
Yeah, right. And I think that had I have been given a choice, like have more money or do this, at 20, I probably would have been like, give me the money.
Yeah, and you would have just wasted it.
Correct. And so she did say, if you hit these targets, you do this. Or if
Yeah.
So I was very grateful for that, and she like absolutely capitalized on the fact that I am the kind of person that like likes learning, but I've always thrown myself into that position. I've always like wanted to learn.
Yeah.
So, but opening the gym, the main thing I learned is like the work ethic and how much more you have to do, how much more I did that was outside of my on the gym floor coaching.
Yeah.
And needing like the team, like not even the team, but like needing, to lean on other people. It was just so much fucking work. It was so much work. The lights didn't work. We didn't have electricity for the first like fucking week.
It's wild.
Yeah, we had a generator.
Wow.
At the front of the gym.
That's
because
wild.
nothing worked out. Nothing worked out. They stuffed up when
That's
the power.
business. It's business.
So when all this stuff's happening, you're like, oh my God, the equipment at U-Strong. I'm like, I'm not having to fill up a fucking generator at the front.
We're good.
It's so fine.
Yeah, we finally got some money back for that. It's exciting.
Oh my God, congratulations.
Yeah, we're making headway.
So you went from there to the group gym where you kind of did the mentoring thing? Was that the step?
I actually went by myself for a little bit. So I was online by myself for
In between
for a little bit.
Yep.
And then I was really unwell. I was like really unwell. So I went to online coaching because I was going through some really intense treatments. So I moved everything online. Was online in like 2017.
Yeah, before it was cool.
Yeah, when I was sending emails, all my email
I was
check-ins.
doing my check-ins in Messenger
Yeah.
in 2017. Copy and paste this text.
Yeah, I was
and
doing
reply to me.
emails.
Wow.
Emails, old school.
Yeah, I've always done emails. And then I was living in the northern suburbs with my best friend, and I got DM'd by a guy that owned a gym, and he was like, oi, like, do you work out of anywhere? Do you want to do any face-to-face? And I was like, let me come look at the gym. And when he was pretty much like, I will let you pick anything, because he knew who I had worked with.
Yeah.
And he was like,
You wanted to buy your IP, basically.
pretty much.
Yeah.
He was like, I will let you.
I know who that is, and he's a pretty savvy business guy.
Correct.
It's pretty smart.
Like, you can do whatever you want out of here. Like, what's your idea? And then you can run it. Obviously, like, I'll pay you for that. You can run whatever you want, your own coaching, your own workshops, your own this, your own that out of here.
I know who it is.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I
we did a
was,
lift off there.
yeah, and I was like, you know what? Hell yeah.
How we didn't know each other
Yeah.
until I coached you.
Yeah.
I went to Good Life Preston quarterly, every 6 months. At the same time, you would have been working there.
Yeah.
Both in powerlifting.
Yeah.
Both did that course.
Because I'm loud,
I just
but
don't.
we're loud, but we're not trouble. Like, I'm loud.
maybe.
I'm like, I've always had my clients. We're not trouble.
yeah.
Like, I'm not a
Still
name
the
that
thing.
We kept
Yeah.
to ourselves then too.
Yeah.
Through that time.
when I worked with somebody that didn't keep to herself, and that obviously dissipated, I hated it. I didn't like it. I like going somewhere and knowing that people know that I'm going to be the person that smiles at them and is inclusive and all of that. And like, I stay out of trouble in those environments. I'm happy for people to know me as a nice person, but I don't like.
It's interesting.
Yeah. And then worked with him for a little while, and then was like, I broke my back trying to stay loyal working there.
So just before we move on,
Yeah.
we've just gone and said everyone needs to go do free work in their first bit to accumulate experience, etc. So many people will sit back and be like, "Oh my God, you're so lucky."
I don't know if you coin it like that. I think you need to find a way to absorb other people's experience.
Correct.
And that is sometimes free work
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
Yeah.
so
Mentoring or
it makes it
whatever.
sound more usable for everyone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah. Because your goal as someone who's new is finding a way to leverage someone who has what you want,
Yeah.
and that is
So
either
let's-
working for them,
Yeah.
being educated by them, being mentored, shadowed,
Yeah.
etc.
Maybe is accept a gap in financial remuneration for the reward of IP.
Oh, yeah, and I don't think you can put a price on it.
I agree.
Like, you
So-
can't put a price on that 2-year period
So yeah, so
No.
because it wouldn't have got you here, and we
You're
can't put
so
a price
lucky.
on everything.
you're so lucky. I sacrificed income to work under someone else for the first year. Most PTs won't do that.
Yeah.
I overcommitted to opening a facility and worked outside my scope and did way more hours than I was paid for, but accumulated lots of
Life
skill
skills,
set.
yeah, business skills.
And then someone goes, "How did you end up in this gym that like you mentor other coaches and you get to do whatever you want?"
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
got
Because I
poached?
did it for free.
You're so lucky.
yeah, you're lucky, yeah.
No. Like
I've
this work.
Let's
then
come
went,
back to the sequence of events that
we
got us
want
here.
you specifically because you have this IP and this skill set to come and work for us.
Yeah. Which also, like, yeah, like, I look back at it all now with rose-colored glasses. Don't get me wrong. I was, like, fucking crying myself to
Yeah, at
sleep.
the time, it's not like it was fucking easy the whole time.
It was hard. It was hard. But then having someone approach me being like, I like what you... Absolutely for their own advantage because they're a business owner. Duh. But, like, I like what you do. I was like, cool. That gave me confidence, which then when I went out, did everything by myself for a while, I was like, I know that I'm capable of more. And as a mum, I want to work with other people. Just gave me the confidence to be able to be like, hey, guys, this is what I know. This is what I've done.
Yeah,
Ha.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. So I think from there we went into the world closed. So you'd already started at Pick It Up at COVID or not yet?
I was still in 2020. I was still at the small group gym running S&C. And I was being asked to drive into the gym to work on my computer 50 minutes away
Yeah.
during the lockdown. And I was like, for what?
Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
Still did it. Like, I still did it. And I was like, do you think I could do this from home?
Yeah.
There was a lot of, like, weirdness and control. And I was like, I don't trust you anymore.
Yeah.
So everything got kind of weird, obviously, in lockdowns. That was a big part of the reason why I did leave there.
Yeah.
Because when everything opened back up, it was like slam with work again. And I was like, I could, nah. And then, so that was 2020. Then 2021, I was at Pick It Up.
Yeah, cool.
Okay.
2021. Because there was a crossover period. There was a crossover where, like, I had started planning my
Exit.
exit
Yeah.
and my arrival there because I'm not an idiot.
So Pick It Up and online were the same time?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was online throughout the whole thing.
Of course.
Yeah, just push it a bit harder.
Correct.
Yeah.
It was always like without knowing it was a funnel, I was using my face to face to breed my online.
Yeah, you pushed
like,
it when you were pregnant with Parker, right? Like that was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So I'd always had online, and then June the 30th, I officially launched the S&C Coach, which was the name of my online business, which is the S&C Coach, which was the Strength and Confidence Coach. Guys, right, double entendre. But the owner of that gym wasn't very happy with the success of the launch of me putting a name to my online business. So that's where the tension came from, all of that. And I was like, that's fair. I get it. But I was still working for him and giving him everything. I just put a name to it because I had to have an online presence.
Yeah.
Because we're in lockdown.
Of course.
So I had to like brand and do all of that. So that was 2020 where I went like hard at putting the name to it.
Yep.
So that by the time I was pregnant with Parker, that was already well and truly established and its own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I launched it on like the new financial year. It was like May, June I was doing it, and then the launch was like 2020. June the 30th was my launch date.
Yeah.
So for tax purposes, it was easy.
Yeah. All right. So we go through the Pick It Up. We go into the online wave. That's essentially when we met.
Yeah, I was doing some group classes at Pick It Up Fitness and like 3 or 4 PT sessions just because I like them.
Yeah.
But then it was online. Yeah.
So when you reached out for coaching, you made the comment, I'd only coach with someone that I would work for. I was like, oh, that's nice. Which I now
Seed
know
planted.
was like, now I know I was being viciously manipulated.
Yeah. What a scheme. What a scheme.
Came to my house and was like, yeah, your wife's real. You don't look like a dick. Yeah, all right. What's going on?
Correct. Wait a sec. Went to his house because that's where we did our PT sessions out of. For everyone listening at home.
Because COVID.
Was in his garage.
Yeah.
Correct.
Had you been looking, shopping, like what drove finding, for lack of a better term, somewhere to work?
Cool. I knew that I wanted to exist in the online space. So I was maybe 6 months postpartum with Parker when I had originally reached out to you. Yeah, roughly 6 to 8 months postpartum. And I was craving more out of like wanting to work. I have a severe distrust of a lot of males in the fitness industry in terms of coaching and business from experience. And so I was like, cool, had followed you for ages and was kind of like, all right, never, like truthfully, and I've said this like before, I was like, he's never been weird. He hasn't.
Now.
And now I know him and there's no fucking going back.
That's pretty weird.
I was like, cool. I like truthfully, like when I thought about going to Ben for coaching, I went through the DMs that we had and it was like me replying to like indie stories and then you with Parker and I was like, cool. Yeah. So there was like nothing weird. And you weren't just a solo coach. You belonged to a business and it was like a well-run business because my last coach was incredible.
That's nice that it looks like that.
And then I found out what was happening at the time.
That's great. It's really props for us for putting that facade on, bro.
It's all about messaging.
Literally.
Hey, that makes me feel good about that period. Just that little sentence.
Because we were just fucking ducks, man.
I'm
Feet underneath, just like.
I'm hanging on to that for the rest of the day.
And then me finding out that you guys were literally like, do we throw this business in the bin at that exact same time?
It was literally that moment. That's awesome.
But yeah, I was like looking and I was like, cool, you guys you belong to something bigger and therefore there is more responsibility. Therefore you can't be fucked up because you belong to other people and it's a brand and it's, there's so much of that. And I was like, cool. So then I started looking more into STC, listening to the potties, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, cool. Yeah, reached out for coaching finally. Sat down in the call with you, had made the comment, like I would only go to someone if I would work for their business because I was like, I could see myself doing this. And it was like, I'd spoken to Bryce at the time and we're in a position where I was like, cool, I'm just going to like go back to investing in a coach for myself, yada, yada, yada. But I think this will be a long-term investment. I wish I could get him here because like that conversation, I was like, it's going to be a long-term investment because I'm going to work for these people. And he's like, do you reckon you'll get offered a job? I was like, I'll get a job there.
That's crazy.
And the fact that like he can confirm that because he was like,
yeah,
all right. And then I was like, cool. So we did a 1 PT session a month where I would come down just bench and deadlift mostly. And I was like, yeah, cool. I think it was like 2 in that I was like, cool, I'm going to ask you something. Like, is there or could there be a position available for me in STC? I have my own online clients, blah, blah, blah. I want more than what I have. And I know that I can't do that by myself. I'd really like to belong to a team. And that was kind of...
Give me 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's
and
the answer.
you were like, you didn't give me much in that conversation. In all fairness, I also cried in that conversation for something different.
What a roller coaster that must have been.
Yeah. And I was like, cool. Because it was like, I was very nervous to put myself out there. But at the same time, I was like, fuck it. Like, what have I got to lose?
Well, that's it.
You keep coaching me because I was like, you're nice enough that if I'm rejected.
And he'd just be like, we'll let you know.
Yeah.
Correct. Right. So there's no
like... this new coach we hired.
And now I'm not coaching you anymore and you're training under her. But yeah, and then it was literally like, let me go back to Dad and Jace and we'll see. And that was where you said we've just gone through a bit of a transition in our business.
Very, very fucking hesitant.
AKA, we just burnt everything to the ground.
Yeah,
rebuilding
very hesitant to bring someone in.
And I feel like it was almost like a perfect time.
Yeah.
It was almost like perfect timing. Like you guys weren't ready for me and I wasn't ready. I wasn't really knowing what I could give you, but I feel like we've all not fumbled. It's been strategically, but like strategically fumbled our way through all of it and like figured it out.
No,
So
nailed it. Absolutely nailed it.
that was it. I looked
The first project we hired her for doesn't exist anymore, but yeah, we nailed it. We nailed it.
Absolutely nailed because we nail everything.
Yeah.
We never fail.
We got there eventually. Yeah, it's interesting. So the question I get a lot working with the like people that are doing 10K a month.
Yeah.
Which we talk about, people want to get there. Working with the people that have, the one thing they want is to start to build a team. Yeah. And my response to them usually is like, bring someone in from brand new and build them. And their response is always, but you have Jess. And it's like, yes, but why? Like, what do you have that you're going to put out into the world to attract someone like that that's going to come and work with you?
Professionalism. So you guys, like, professionalism is the utmost. Like, the overall branding and messaging across the business was attractive to me. Mm. There was a level that you guys held yourself to. Now, when I say professionalism, that was your polo era, but it wasn't the polos that were thing. It was like you all were consistent, whether it was showing up online. Like, it's very different now, even to a few years ago. But, like, you were consistent in showing up online. You were consistent in your own messaging about who you were. You weren't just talking about something because everyone else was talking about something. It was like, it felt professional but authentic. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to be a part of something that was bigger than just one person and bigger than that. And I think when it comes to when I look at, say, U-Strong, which we were hiring for a gym that didn't exist yet. Mm-hmm. And so when I'm like, cool, how did we make that more attractive to people? It had its own brand identity before it was, before it existed. So this is the vibe.
Yeah, and it can't.
And if you're a solo coach, what is your vibe? What is your business?
Absolutely.
And
it can't just be about the work either.
No.
Like, you can't, like, I get it. You have hit a point where you're like, I can't take this any further on my own and I'm busy, so I need to bring someone in. Mm. So I get that component of it, but you can't think about that's the reason.
Yeah.
The reason has to be more, and you have to be part of more, and you have to design that. It's got to be a culture. It's got to be that professionalism and that message. Because when you go to look for people, that's what you're selling.
Yeah, and most of the coaches that I have this discussion with are like, well, the only way for me to grow now is to build the team. Mm. We were like, we have a model and we helped a couple of people. And we're like, cool, let's now mentor. And then they're our trainers. Then it was like, all right, the goal is to reach 1 million people. We can't do that on our own. Mm. So it's education, it's recruitment, it's all that kind of stuff. So then when Jess comes along, it's like, hey, do you want to come on the mission? Yeah. And that's why Jess is like reporting professionalism, consistency, messaging, but because we were like, this is going there. Like, yes,
to the moon.
There was days that we were like, maybe there is in the bin.
But it was going there.
But most of the time it was, this is the end point, this is the journey, this is the dream, the vision, the mission. And we were all, everyone that's ever been through STC was on board with that.
Yeah.
So from the outside looking in, it's like, well, I want to be a part of where they're going. I don't want to work for them and just be another person.
Yeah,
that does sessions.
I don't want to just take the. Yeah, that's it. Fulfill the work demands.
I think also
can't have that as the value add. It's not
also
enough.
I think it's important to note that the two people I was mentored by, so my first job and now this one, I was a client first. Mm. So as naive as I was even back then, I had like learnt from that, and with you, I trialed the system. I was like, is this guy full of shit? Mm. Is this business full of shit? Right? Like, I was and guys, he was full of shit. I just really liked him as a person.
Checks out.
But like, I wanted to be a client first.
Mm. Yeah.
Because like, it's like, I want to see if you do have the systems and the this and the that. Like, my last coach, he was a fucking G. I love him. We are still good friends.
Yeah.
Would never work for him though.
Yeah.
Would never work for him. Would never go into that with him. Like, but like, it was, you walked the walk, you talked the talk. It screamed professionalism and authenticity. And that was the boom.
Yeah.
That was the this is it.
I think takeaways, there's two sides to this. One, if you are a trainer that you're like, your kind of comment was like, I don't want to build everything, but I want to go somewhere bigger than this. but I just don't want to do it on my own. And obviously you had a little one and stuff.
Yeah, I
and
had a
it was
6-month-old.
capacity is probably not there either. So went and sought out someone that had a vision that was bigger than just doing PT sessions and online coaching. Be the client first, establish that they are what they say they are and that you're actually bought into their mission, and approach those people. For the people that are in the position that want to hire a coach or want to build a team, are you projecting that?
Yeah.
And like the conversations, I'm just going to flip this because it's going to...
You could have asked me too. I mean, I'm quite close, but that's fine.
That's okay. I committed. It really hurt my hips too.
Oh well. You deserve it.
Still this heavy, but
Yeah. Still going to squat the photo tomorrow.
Nice.
So the biggest challenge that I had communicating with people was they watched us. Most of them are people that we worked with through Standout, mentored in some way, and they were just like, yeah, but you just had heaps of coaches. And we were like, yeah, because we taught them Cert 4, recruited them.
yeah, we
built them,
spent
and
6
they
months.
became-
We spent 6 months with them.
Yeah, so it's like, what's your value?
Yeah.
Why? It was like, oh, but we have a system. It's like everyone has a system.
Yeah, and we're busy.
You can come and pay $5,000 to STC and do Standout PT and have a system.
Yeah.
That's really fucking easy.
Yeah, yeah,
So it's like, oh, well, we have an Instagram page and a brand. It's like, no one gives a fuck. They can build their own.
yeah.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Where are you going that someone else wants to be a part of it?
Yep.
Or how can you fast track them to get where they want to go
How can you facilitate it? Yeah.
inside it? So like we just did our 25 planning with both Jess and Mimi. And I don't know if I said it to you or Mimi, is like, I haven't done the numbers, what this does for us.
Yeah.
I don't know how much money STC makes if you do this.
Yeah.
But you've come to me and said, I want these outcomes. This is the plan. I know if you're successful, we will be too.
Yeah.
And there'll be a benefit to the business. But I started with Jess wants this outcome in her life for her income and her lifestyle. Mimi wants these outcomes. These are the roles that they have. How do we facilitate that in the most efficient and effective way possible? Yeah. And how do we support that over time? If we're a business, we just want someone to come and do extra sessions so we make more money. Like who's A coming and B staying?
Yeah, quality control and consistency in it. Yeah, effort. It's gonna be a problem.
Yeah. So you've got to be able to provide an outcome that they can't get on their own and prioritize that.
Yep.
And then be attractive enough with your vision that someone else would want to come with you.
And then I feel like one of my greatest successes in life sounds so dramatic, but is being able to help give DJ what you guys have given me and to help be that which
Yeah, that's been cool to watch.
Yeah.
I've like obviously mentored people before, but like this is like a different being part of like the
So much more intimate, working in the same place. And
yeah, we don't get to work together often. Realistically, we only really see each other on Tuesdays, but like being a part of that,
yeah.
which was my little switch up this year, being like, oh yeah, you're that person now.
Yeah. And you guys are building what we just described
Correct.
together.
And I think that's if you are looking for someone to come on your team, because I do forget that I have that hat too. Jess looks at you strong as an extension of her as well.
Yeah.
And there is not once that Jess has been like, oh no, I have to vacuum the floor or clean shit stains off the toilet again this week. Gym ownership. But it's like, Jess is always like, hey, I want to do this, or can you teach me how to do this? And she wants to be better as a coach, and she wants to contribute to the culture.
Yeah, the mission.
The
Everything.
mission, the brand identity, the personality that is you strong. But sees herself as part of it, like I see myself as part of it, but don't see it as your entire identity as well. Like that gym is not me.
Yeah.
No, that gym is parts of all of us, and it's something bigger than all of us, and we all contribute to it in different ways. And like having someone, knowing that someone wants to add to that and contribute to this brand's identity because they can see what it will be capable of is probably the biggest thing. Like Jess is not a copycat paste of me. We are very different people.
Yeah, of course.
We just have this exact same values and morals, which makes this very easy to work together. And I feel like with STC, if you look at all of us externally and just look at us, so different. Like my friends, like I was saying, I think at the start of the podcast, like so many people were like, "Are you sure you're going to go work with two fucking meatheads? Do you know who you are? You are going to punch on with these motherfuckers." But it's like, and then what you said about training and our personalities, if you close your eyes but you draw a line through all of us, we are the exact same.
Yeah.
And working in this team has helped me see so much of that, like, as well. I don't want to be a mini Ben and Jason anymore.
No.
I want to be bigger than both of you. But, like, I don't want
Challenge accepted.
It's just, like, so much about it, whether you're being hired or hiring, being on both sides, you're not looking to be a copycat.
Yeah.
Like, copy-paste of the other people. It's
you
like
want people on the same journey.
Yeah.
The
Same mission.
The same goals. Same outcomes.
Yeah.
So the average trainer that listens to the pod, I would guess somewhere between 50 and 120K.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Building, maybe starting to reach a glass ceiling or wants to this year, like this is my 6-figure year, this is my 10K month year, this is whatever. Most people are kind of in this window. What I encourage you to do right now is to start thinking about the conversation we just had.
Mm.
Who's going to come and work with you when you scale and why?
Yeah.
Because you have to have, if you want to scale in terms of scale for people and not just introduce like a low ticket item that picks up more money, you actually want to scale and become a brand like an STC or whatever other brand that you look up to that has lots of coaches. Start thinking about what the mission is that's bigger than you and build your business to reflect it. Because you have to have, your business has to look and feel and be a certain way to attract people to come and stay.
Absolutely.
So you
Good
drop
note
the
to end on.
mic.
That's a good note to end on.
Yeah.
That was mad. Congratulations again.
Thanks, homies. Thanks
Yeah,
for having
huge
me.
effort.
Yeah. I think it was ChatGPT records it's 5%.
Nice.
Yeah. It was like, it's not, there's no actually clear data that I can, but based on these, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
like this much information, 5% of personal trainers make 10 years.
That's cooked.
Yeah, it's huge.
Mm.
Hell yeah. Go us.
Yeah, it's mad. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in for another episode. Thank you, Jess, for coming out. Don't forget, jump onto the website, stcfit.com. Head to the Standout PT page for all the information on our prime product 26-week mentoring program to take you from where you are now to 10K months. Jess has done it. Her online business skyrocketed through it, and then we gave her a gym. So we won't give you a gym, unfortunately. We can't include it. Gave her a gym that she had to build, sell,
Work in.
clean the toilets.
Yeah, manage everything.
Don't forget also like, share, subscribe. Makes a really big difference to the reach of the pods. Drop a comment if you're on YouTube as well, even if it's a hate one. I love engaging with the hate comments. It's the most fun I have all
Roast
week.
me.
Yeah. So he said, "Fuck YouTube." I don't know if it's in this one or the other one.
Maybe
so.
we're not on there anymore. We might have been booted. But yeah, thanks you guys for tuning in. As always, we'll see you next week.